Welcome to Comfort Habit number 2. I am your host, Echo Fan Grey Wolf. So, I misspoke and I can't delete my other video. So, I was talking about Millennium Studios, and the part I misspoke is that we got out of the car. We didn't get out of the car because we drove to the thing because the damn shit was fenced in and they had to let us in. So, here's your recap. I did a Zeo Power Ranger song. I did Eat the Cat. And I talked about how the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's second aunt was Tim Reed's wife. I talked about how we went and got breakfast. I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, Mew Mew, Winx Club, or whatever the fuck else was on at the time. And we went to Petersburg. We went and got breakfast. And so now you're up to speed. So we got in there. I saw some other shit. I also forgot to talk about how there was a commercial with Rick Young and Tim Reed that went on for almost 2 months, letting us know that Millennium was there. Checked the time, checked the date, did all that shit, made sure I was off those days, and I went there. So we got there, we left, we came back because we went and got breakfast. I had a bad experience with a fucking sausage biscuit from McDonald's. Some bird got that, but I ate the biscuit. Now we're up to speed. So watching the clock, 8:30 goes by, it takes forever for 8:30 to get there. Then they open it up at 9. We're the first cars in the lot, and we've been there twice. So we pull up to the gate, and the guy at the gate says, "Are you guys SAG actors?" And it's like, I had never heard of SAG before that day. And it's like, "No, we're just here because of the commercial." So he goes, "Pull over there." The next car comes in. "Are you guys SAG actors?" "No, we're here because of the commercial." "Pull over there." "Are you guys SAG actors?" "No." "Pull over there." So now you have 4 cars over here. Next car comes in. "Are you guys SAG actors?" "Yes." They go in. The next car. "Are you SAG actors?" "Yes." They go in. The next car. "Are you SAG actors?" "No." And then another no. So now you have like 4 or 5 cars over here where we are. The other cars are just going in. And then I get out the car. And I'm like, I'm sitting out there on the like, leaning on the hood of the car. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the guy's like, "Hey, I'll be with y'all in a minute. I'll be with y'all in a minute. Just 1 second." Then car after car after car goes in. Parking lot's damn near full. And there's 5 of us, or 7 of us over here. And we're all people of color, coming to give the Hollywood dream a try. But the thing is, the commercials never said a motherfucking thing about you had to be a Screen Actors Guild actor. SAG. Screen Actors Guild. Okay? I don't know what the fuck that shit was. I learned out about SAG from Jeeves, by the way. No, not too long after this happened. I learned about SAG from Jeeves when he was a thing. So, sitting there, guy comes in, he's like, "Okay, to all y'all who are here, today is for SAG actors only." And everybody's looking at this man like, what the fuck is that? Because, you know, if you're from a small town, you never heard of fucking SAG, you know. You may have seen SAG actors rewards and shit and don't even know what the fuck that shit is. So SAG, Screen Actors Guild, is a place where you have to spend $250 of your hard-earned money as an actor so that you basically, it's like joining a fucking fan club where you have to pay your dues to get work. If you're a Screen Actors Guild, if you're a SAG member, you pay $250 a month, and they guarantee you, for the most part, they guarantee you. Don't take that fucking serious, but they are more willing to work with you because you are a SAG actor than when you are a non-union actor like myself. Alright? Now, the advantage of being a SAG actor is that SAG will also fight these companies that don't want to pay you your worth. However, that's how we have the acting strike right now and the writer's strike, because SAG also works for the writers sometimes. But right now, everything's going to hell in a handbasket, which is going to give me an opportunity to hopefully open some motherfucking doors for my acting career. So we're working on that. As we speak, we are working on that. So by the time you're seeing this, I'm probably doing something totally different by the time this shit's airing. Anyway, so that day, I talked to a Mr. Ron Martin, who I have no idea if he's still running the show or not up there, for talent. So he's like, okay. He said, I can see you out of all the people, you seem to want to be here the most. I said, dude, I've been waiting for this all my motherfucking life. I'm 27 years old. I am ready to go. I'm ready I don't even have to play the fucking star. Just give me a fucking job. I can be the guy in the back, the extra, whatever. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't really work like that. I said, yeah, but y'all said this is our Hollywood moment. I said, do you know that I gave up moving to North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever the fuck Screen Gems is, to be at this spot because my dad is not in the best of health, my mom is not in the best of health. I'm never going to be famous enough where I can charter a plane from California where somebody's going to say, hey, that actor needs his seat. He's on the plane to California or from California to Virginia because his mom has passed or his dad has passed. I'm never going to be that famous. I know that going in because I'm not a very beautiful man. All right? That doesn't mean I won't be a good actor. It just means I'm not a very beautiful man. It also means that no one's going to give up their seat for a B-rated actor to go fly home to see his parents on their deathbed. But if I'm in Millennium Studios care, my mom is in Charlottesville. That's a 3-hour drive. My dad is in Richmond. It's an hour and a half. Doesn't matter which one of them is hurt. If I'm in the middle of a show, when that show is over, I can talk to the director, I can talk to the casting director, I can talk to the fucking producer and say, hey, look, I need to go home. I need to go all the way back to Charlottesville, so I'm having mom. I can jump in that car, I can be there, I just need a day off. Same thing with my dad, but if it's up to my dad, unless he's in the hospital, I really don't need a day off. Just give me a couple of hours, let me run down there, see what the fuck's going on, and run the fuck back up here to Petersburg, and I'll be ready to go. But no. That was a shattered dream because they weren't doing actors who were not Screen Actors Guild. They were only taking SAG actors. So Mr. Martin and I had a little conversation. He said, you want to make movies, son? Do me a favor. Go home. Make any kind of movie you want and bring it back. And I said, okay, I can do that. Went home. I made a movie in fucking 3 weekends. It was called Fallen Dragons. Alright? I had to get people who would work for free and who would do martial arts. It's a martial art movie. Got it. I had the Bowie sisters. Thank you, ladies. I had Eric Chen. Thank you, brother. I had Adrian Cowell. Thank you, brother. I had Philip. I don't know his last name, but he was Filipino. And I had Lucas, or Lewis. It's Lewis, with a long-ass name from Africa. And I had my boy, Bruce Johnson. And I had my boy, Jay Diz, who managed to play the bad guy. The only bad guy. So, we had the University at our disposal. We filmed at the University of Virginia. I have the footage at home somewhere. This was my very first movie. I wanted to make it a very good movie, but I was like, there's so many people short. I needed 7 bad guys, and I needed 7 good guys, and I got 4 good guys, 3 bad guys, and a guy to play my half-brother. So basically, it was 2 stories in one, all right? There was a rivalry between me and my brother. My brother was played by Adrian Cowell. We fought on some steps. It was fucking awesome. The main bad guy was played by Jay Diz, and the other bad guy was played by, God damn it. I just said his goddamn name. It wasn't Adrian. Adrian played my brother. Shit. It wasn't Philip, because Philip, Eric Chen. Sorry, Eric. Eric Chen played my he was basically the bad guy's muscle. And he was a big Chinese dude. He's a big motherfucker, like Bolo big. Compared to me, he was Bolo big. And Adrian, tall, strong looking motherfucker, cut like a motherfucker. Everybody was cut. Everybody, I was cut. Not as cut as them, but I was cut. And then there was Lewis, and there was Philip. So we were the 3 guys, and then the Bowie sisters, N and V, were the 2 girls. Alright. So we needed like 1 or 2 more guys for us, and we needed 5 more guys for Josh's team. And then I got another guy who played the main bad guy that was the scientist behind the whole fucking incursion. And I never could catch him. That was the whole thing. He was badass, but we never got to have a final fight. The guy didn't know martial arts, so I wasn't going to put him through that stress. But he just played the part. And he walked the entire time. He just walked like he had that monster fucking walk. And so he had that super stride, so he walked and he walked and he walked. And the harder I run, the faster this fucker could walk. But for the camera, he's walking mega slow, but I'm running mega fast. But he gets away at the end. So I promised them that if we ever made this movie into a big movie, that I would either buy them out or we would all make this movie. And that was over 20-something fucking years ago, to show you why I'm angry, not jealous. My life was straight, yo. And then shit just started going wrong. Like, big time wrong. But anyway, so I made 2 copies of this movie. One on, well, both of them actually on VHSs. Because I sent one to fucking Robert Redford's film channel. God damn it. I don't remember the name of the goddamn channel. But I sent it to his channel. And I got a rejection letter. I sent the other one into New Millennium Studios. I got the address. I paid like maybe fucking $25 for shipping and handling. And it got to Ron Martin at Millennium Studios. And they never contacted me back. Now, I called and left messages. He never called me back. And then when he finally called me back, he said, "Hey, look, son, interesting movie. It sucked. And we don't do kung fu movies." I was like, okay. Yeah, I need you to understand that I had to get these people. I had to take their weekends from them. I had to film this movie. I didn't get to pay these people. I had to feed these people. And I had to put this bitch together as best I could with the people that I had. I had to write a motherfucking story, print it out to the people I had, and this is all you're going to tell me. You're not going to tell me how I can improve it. You're just going to tell me, well, we don't do kung fu movies. This is going to come back in a minute. Remember I said that they told me they don't do kung fu movies. Okay. There's a reason why I said this is going to come back in a minute. So I'm in a conversation with him, like, yeah, man, you know, your movie's lacking some stuff. I said, yeah, it's lacking 14 people because the story is about 14 people. I said, I don't want to tell y'all what the movie is in case somebody takes my idea and gets famous before I get it up on my YouTube channel. And yes, the movie does suck, but it's still my fucking movie, and I did the best I could with what I had. And it was my first movie coming out. So anyway, so we have a little chat. He's like, yeah, give me a couple of years, call me back. I didn't give Millennium a second thought because YouTube came out. Now, I didn't know how to fucking use YouTube. I still barely know how to use YouTube, and YouTube's been around for almost 30 years now because I'm 50. And I know my first channel I started well over 10 years ago, but YouTube got bought out by somebody else that didn't take a Yahoo account. And then YouTube got bought out by Google, who I believe also owns Yahoo. Anyway, y'all will figure that shit out because that shit's not relevant. What is relevant is that I continue to go to casting, and it took me maybe 15 years of casting to find out why I'm not what they're looking for. This also is important, so take notes. This is very important, so take notes. So, as I search for something to drink in a house that is not mine, but should have been mine, how? Damn. Dang, I nothing that I drink in this motherfucker. Not even hot water. Like in a bottle. Anyway, moving on. So, I'm going all these casting, you know. I'm not using my heritage as my crutch. Yeah, I probably should have. I probably would have actually got work if I had started going by Echo Fangravel 20 fucking years ago instead of just trying to be James Williams Jr., the mixed kid. Well, they weren't writing shit for mixed people, and if you're not 6'5" and named Rock Johnson, you're not getting the job, you know. So I wasn't getting any fucking work, and I would go to casting after casting, and I would hear, "You're a very nice-looking man, Mr. Williams, but you're not what we're looking for." And then I got to where we got to go back a little bit. I skipped some shit, but we got to go back. I'm not going to remake this video, but we got to go back. So as I'm going to these casting calls, you know, getting rejected left and right, left and right, left and right. I hear about this movie coming out. Now, we're 2 years in to Millennium Studios. 2 years in. Maybe not even that much. Maybe a year and 6 months in. This movie comes out. It's got Sylvester Stallone. It's got the Transporter, Jason Statham. It's got Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's got Randy the Killer Couture from the UFC. It's got my boy He-Man, Dolph motherfucking Lundgren, and it's got my boy Jet motherfucking Lee, and it's got one black guy in the whole goddamn crew. Terry motherfucking Crews. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass, and I'm homebound. Yeah, that guy. This movie is called The Fucking Expendables. Now I'm pissed. I just named like 7 martial artists, with the exception of Jason Statham, and the exception of fucking Sylvester Stallone. Because those guys are actors. They've always been actors. But Dolph Lundgren was a Swiss champion. Randy Couture was a UFC champion more than once. Stone Cold Steve Austin's a wrestler, which means he knows a little bit of martial arts. Jet Li was a champion. Terry Crews was a football player who dabbled in a wrestling show called, what the fuck was that show? It doesn't matter what the show was called. I know he was on the show with Karen Coe, who unfortunately died. I was in love with that woman too. Anyway, go ahead and Google her. Karen Coe. Karenko. She's got another name, but Karen Coe was the name used for the show. Battle Dome was the name of the show, which means Terry Crews had to know a little bit of martial arts. And Battle Dome was basically the new version of American Gladiators. Alright? So you got all this shit going on. This movie has all those people that I named who do martial arts. And they had the bad guy. And let's not forget they had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. And when the next one came out, they had Chuck Norris, Van Damme, and more martial artists. But I was told, specifically by phone, we don't do martial art movies. Y'all see the clusterfuck of where I could be now had they gave me a job? But I'm not angry. I'm pissed off. I'm not smiling because I'm not angry. I'm just pissed off. Because of where I could have been at 27 had that door been opened and they let me walk through it. That door was blocked with 10 juggernauts. I wanted to run around the side and kick in the back door, or run around the back and kick in the side door, quote from Bruce Lee. But, like I said, what they told me was, we don't do martial art movies. So I never gave Millennium Studios another thought until the Expendables dropped. And they got my $13.95. And I'm sitting in this thing and I'm watching, and I really only went to go see it because Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren was in it. I was just learning who the hell Jason Statham was, and I love Sylvester Stallone. Rambo has been an intricate part of my life because I come from a family of men who served. I served. Didn't get to serve the way I want, but I still signed my ass up and went to the motherfucking army. I got the cat card to prove it. Not only do I have the cat card, I got the veterans card. And I got a fucking big ass scar down the side of my hip that says, hey, be all that you can be, but don't get fucking infantry. Alright? So, that's when Millennium got back on my radar. That's when Millennium pissed me the fuck off because I would have never had to go to the army had I been given the fair chance that I deserved. And I didn't. I wasn't given a shot by Millennium Studios because they straight told me we don't do kung fu movies. Then they told me we don't do scary movies. And I'm like, dude, you are in the business of making movies. It shouldn't matter if that movie is a scary movie, a kung fu movie, a motherfucking porn. You're in the business of making fucking movies. Y'all promised us Hollywood East. I found water. But y'all failed to deliver on your promise of Hollywood East. Y'all literally did not honor your fucking word about Hollywood East. They made a TV show. It came on ABC about some police officers. It got one season. It was a good show, but it only got one season. They did a Thomas Jefferson movie. I think the girl starring in it was Carmen Ejogo. Again, they made one movie. They made one TV series. And it is some more shit. And I'm not mad at Millennium Studios. Not now. I was furious back then, but I was like in my 20s. Age and wisdom. And I'm sitting here and I'm angry. I'm like, these motherfuckers on the phone told me we don't do kung fu movies. We don't do scary movies. We don't do shit. And I'm sitting here pissed the fuck off. Because, y'all just dropped Expendables. Y'all literally just dropped a fucking kung fu movie. Y'all might not want to call it a kung fu movie because Sylvester Stallone is an action star and Jason Statham is an action star. They're not kung fu stars. But I just named 6 motherfuckers that are martial artists, including Stone Cold Steve Austin, who technically you can't count as a martial artist because he's a fucking professional wrestler. And they have another Millennium Studios dropping another Expendables really, really fucking soon. But you're going to tell me a martial artist, Randy Couture's not a martial arts champion? Dolph Lundgren, a guy I idol? Jet Li, a guy I idol? You going to tell me they're not martial artists? That's 3 right there. Then you got Stone Cold. I can't remember if he was a good guy or a bad guy, but he was in there. And then you got Terry Crews, football player. Your next video or next movie, you'd have 7 more fucking martial artists, including one of the best in history, Chuck fucking Norris, who can beat you with his chin beard, hair, whatever. Y'all know the joke. Chuck Norris's beard was a bad motherfucker by itself. It's just attached to Chuck Norris. In fact, it's the secret of Chuck Norris's fighting. The beard does all the fighting. Shout out to Chuck Norris and whatever man came up with all those Chuck Norris jokes. That guy might have been getting his ass back. Chuck Norris too. Anyway. Then you got Van Damme, play the bad guy. I don't even remember Millennium Studios Expendables 3. But this one's dropping is Expendables 4. And I know Expendables 3 went to the movies because I decided not to go see it. Because I spent money on the first 2. $13.95, motherfuckers. And I'm not in it. Because I was told we don't do kung fu movies. Then Millennium became a movie distribution thing. So I had an idea. I had a really wise idea. We're going to make this movie, this TV show called Guardians of the Earth. But it was going to be a series based on a movie I made called Path of Ascension. Which means I'm rising up the ladder to become the leader of this superhero team. And in this team, I have the power of air. J. Diz had the power of fire. CLS had the power of ice and water. And Charles had the power of earth. It was great. It's on Kung Fu Havoc #1, by the way, if y'all want to swing by there and watch that. It's in 2 parts because at the time of the movie being made, YouTube only let you have a half hour. So I had to break a complete hour down into a 2-hour event. And so amongst doing that, there was that. So that happened. And we decided we're going to run it again. Because what happened was, I had a discussion with those 3 cats. He said, well, we didn't get enough screen time. I said, okay, there's 2 reasons why you didn't get enough screen time. one, y'all didn't have time. Two, y'all just didn't want to make the time. And three, y'all probably really just wasn't really feeling it at the time. That's it. So what I'll do is I'll write a story. There's a spinoff from that where you can explore your powers and you get to do shit. But you gotta be ready to fully commit to this shit. So, 3 of us was fully committed. One of us was not. So then, my nephew, who had passed away 3 years ago, 2 days ago, was the anniversary of that, I wrote the story specifically for him to be the hero. But he started treating me like dog shit, and instead of just being a man, I said, nah, I don't want to do it. So then I had to find a replacement. The replacement showed up for one shot, just like the other guy. So that's when I met my bro Courtney Monroe, my boy Rodney, and my bro Prince Octavius Brown. I said, okay, look, I need somebody to be the fifth element, which is steel. Tay took that job. I didn't want to make Courtney the bad guy because of him being a darker shade of black. And I felt that that would be racist because I really wanted Courtney to be Steel. And Courtney didn't want to be Steel. He wanted to be Daikon Darkcloud. He wanted to be the bad guy. And I was like, nah, dude, because of the color diaspora, it's going to be like the stereotypical bullshit where the blackest guy has to be the fucking bad guy. And I didn't want that. He said, hey, look, you got 3 black guys. It's a little bit lighter than me. And then we got you. And you're the mixed kid that's in charge. I can be the bad guy. It's not going to be a problem. Then they had one white guy. And he's going to be the hero. Or at least he was supposed to be the hero. But he would much rather smoke weed and drive scooters to Amherst instead of be on the show. So, him and the guy that I killed off, they got killed off in the first episode. I tried to keep them in, but they just would not show up. Alright? So, that's a problem when you're making an independent film and you're feeding everybody because you can't afford to pay them. It's a whole lot cheaper to buy pizza with everybody's toppings on it versus in a drink and bring a cooler full of food because we're filming in a public place than to try to pay them money that I don't have. Alright? Because I didn't have money. All the money went to cameras and shit. Cameras and tapes. So, making awesome ass series. I got Bruce Johnson on standby waiting to fucking put this shit together. So Bruce couldn't really put it together, so I had to put it together. I put it all together, and all Bruce had to do was one job: add special effects. That will be important later. Alright, and in case y'all missed it, the martial art thing, that was the Millennium thing, where Millennium told me they didn't make martial art movies, and they dropped them. By the way, Sundance was the Robert Redford channel, who also told me they didn't make kung fu movies, and sure as fuck a Japanese kung fu movie came on the day they sent me a motherfucking rejection letter and told me how bad my movie sucked. And I was like, okay, cool beans. But I never forgot the shit. At all. So, that was that. Now I'm sitting here, and I just seen a UPS or a FedEx truck come by, but the box is still on the fucking porch. Okay, that's the second time this shit done happened, and fuck. Anyway. So, came up with the idea of Guardians of the Earth. Daikon Darkcloud came from outer space to take over the human race. That's all you get from that. 5 warriors rise to stop him. Winds up being 4 warriors because there's supposed to be 5 warriors and a rookie hero that's going to save them all. Well, the rookie hero was the white kid that wouldn't stop smoking weed and driving to Amherst on scooters. And the black kid, well, he just didn't want to do it, but instead of just being a man, said, hey, nah, man, I don't want to do it. See, we could have worked that out in the first goddamn day and said, all right, well, we'll just have you killed off. And that would have been fine. So I voted for him to stay. I got outvoted. And so since we had already found him getting fucked up and it was supposed to be a nightmare, we turned that into the reality. All right? And then that way we could continue to work while they continued to smoke weed and drive the Amherst on scooters. So, that being said, you know, we had everything planned, everything set, we filmed everything, we edited everything. Somebody deleted over the best fight scene between Jay Diz and Courtney ever. So that fucked that up. And so I put together what we had. I put down everything we needed. Everything was done. Everything was straight. We were fucking editing. Everything was straight. It was fucking 7 episodes. And I gave it to Bruce. I gave him the hard drive. I let him know everything was in order of where it needs to be. Somebody in Alabama has that shit. Bruce, about 6 foot even, never been in a fight a day in his damn life, goes to get a job at Alabama because he fucked up somewhere at the university and lost his fucking job for doing some unceremonious shit. Anyway, instead of him telling me, I can't put the special effects in, you have to go to somebody else. Would have been great to know that. Now, because here's that thing, and I say this to everybody. If I'm your friend, no matter what the situation is, you should always be able to tell me, no, I can't do that. And as your friend, I should always, regardless of how mad it makes me, accept that no. And that's supposed to work on both sides of the track. I should always be able to tell you no, and you should always be able to tell me no. And had he said that, you guys would know who the fuck I am because we put together a fucking masterpiece. It's the best shit I've ever fucking done in my life. So, shit got stolen. Bruce sends me a message. Hey man, I got mugged. Your computer got stolen. I bought you a newish computer and everything that I have from your old computer, I put on your new computer. That computer's still sitting out. It was a little bigger than the one I had, which was kind of suspicious. But, you know, it was what it was. I was like, well, what about my footage and the hard drive? Hard drive is gone. Dude stung me with a goddamn cattle prong. Bruce is a big dude. So, I believe that shit. And I also know that Bruce couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. Big guys generally, they can fight some cases, and he never been a fight a day in his life because he's so fucking big that people have just been intimidated. It's like, oh yeah, this big motherfucker, I ain't fucking him. But you will always find that one motherfucker who doesn't care how big you are and ain't afraid to fight you. Congratulations. That person found Bruce. And totally ruined my fucking life. Anyhow. So, that happened. And I didn't get to have the career that I wanted. But, you know, shit happens. I ain't get to put any of that shit on YouTube other than the Path of Ascension. That's on Comfort Avenue #1. Moved on. While this was happening, I also lost my girlfriend. She decided relationships are overrated and I couldn't come see her anymore. I didn't get to do much of anything else after that. I decided that I wanted to die, so I joined the fucking army. I joined the fucking army to die because I would rather die a soldier than a zero. I don't want to be a hero. I just wanted to die. I found a reason for living by joining the army. I found motherfuckers that gave a fuck if I lived or if I died. It's about like 7 people in Bravo that at least gave a fuck about me while the others didn't. And the 2 drill sergeants in Bravo who didn't. That would be Drill Sergeant White and Drill Sergeant... the fuck is his damn name? I don't know his name. Fuck him. The only drill sergeant in Bravo that gave a fuck about me and our platoon really... well, yeah, our platoon was Drill Sergeant Roberts. Drill Sergeant White wasn't a bad drill sergeant. Drill Sergeant Stoltz, that was his name. That motherfucker didn't like me. He punked me when he saw my videos, and that was my fault. I can't blame nobody for that but me because when I got hurt and we had a certain duty and Drill Sergeant White had us on duty, me and Teddy and him, and I said, well, can we watch some of my old videos before I came here? And he said, well, what did you do? I said, oh, I did Kung Fu. So, again, my fault. So I popped up my videos, and then Drill Sergeant Stoltz decided to make an ass out of me and mock me. It's like, oh, you do all these kung fu videos and you so fucking tough, but you can't do this. I said, well, one, I'm on profile. And two, y'all won't let me participate because of my leg. I said, so I don't want to hear that. He's like, well, you're going to hear it, and it ain't going to be a damn thing you can do about it because I'm the drill sergeant and you're not. And I was like, yes, drill sergeant. Yes, drill sergeant. This motherfucker took every chance he could to bitch me out. Tried to make me look like the biggest bitch that he could. And then Drill Sergeant White kind of signed on with the shit. And then he started calling me a coward and all kinds of other shit. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna tell y'all some funny shit. Because these motherfuckers were badasses, but were they though? Because you're gonna kick a man while he's down when you're supposed to help build up your fellow soldiers, not kick them while they're down. Something I learned in fucking Delta that Bravo didn't teach me. Also about the King of Teens. I wish I would have went to Delta before I went to Bravo. That's just my personal opinion, with the exception of Jill Sergeant Robbins. So, he kept punking me, and it's like, all right, we're taking care of you. You're going to golf. I was like, okay. I was like, good. What I didn't know was that it was setting me up for a fucking fail. So when I got to golf, it was a tiny little drill sergeant, just a little bit bigger than me, and it was Drill Sergeant Walsh. I know y'all thinking, what the fuck does this have to do with Millennium? I'm gonna bring it back around in a minute. So both of those drill sergeants decided they're gonna fuck with me that day. And so, I don't handle threats very well, and I don't like bullies. And just because my camera stopped, okay, it popped back. I don't handle threats very well, and I don't handle bullies. And just because you have power doesn't mean you should abuse it. Drill Sergeant Walsh and this little sidekick, they were both bigger than me. They abused their powers. Each one of these guys might have been 25 years old. Here I am at 37. They don't fucking know me. But what they also don't know is that shit that they are training these motherfuckers in, I'm way better than they could ever be. Because I've been actually in fights where you just train the soldiers how to hopefully use that shit. Alright? And there's a key reason that I said hopefully use that shit. When I was in Bravo, it was doing Taekwondo. It was a test about Mr. Anderson, etc., and that was very important. But they wouldn't let me participate because my leg was fucked up. And they said, come on, man, I've been doing martial arts all my life. Please let me participate. Nah. And that's when Drill Sergeant Walsh and Drill Sergeant Drill Sergeant Walsh, not Walsh, that's in golf. Drill Sergeant Stoltz and Drill Sergeant fucking White exploited my videos and kept rubbing that shit in my face, but yet they wouldn't let me participate. I forgive them, and I hope they're alive. Well, at least Drill Sergeant White. I don't care two fucks about Drill Sergeant Stoltz. Anyway, so when I get to golf, Drill Sergeant Walsh, Chinese guy, about 6'4", starts talking shit. And at the end of them making me move back and forth, he looked me in my face, he says, you're gonna be in my platoon. And I'm gonna fuck with you every motherfucking day because I fucking can. And I looked them in the face and said, you won't see me again after today. He's like, what? I said, see, here's my choice. I can refuse training, or I can kill you. I'm not going to jail for murder, so I'm going to refuse training. You will not be seeing me tomorrow. So, next morning I wake up, because I had to go back to Bravo to go to sleep after chow. So next morning I wake up, Drill Sergeant Stoltz comes up, and he goes, you ready to go to golf? And I looked him dead in the face and said, I refuse to go to golf. I'm not going to golf. He said, I'm going to ask you one more time, soldier. Are you going to golf? And I looked him dead in the face and said, I'm not going to golf. And he looks at me one more time. He goes, are you going to golf? And I look at Drill Sergeant Stoltz and I said one more time, I refuse training. I am not going to golf. If I go to golf, I'm going to slam to the stockade because I'm going to kill one or two of those motherfucking drill sergeants over there. Are you filing a complaint? I said, I didn't know I had that as a fucking option. But those motherfuckers threatened me yesterday. And I'm going to fucking kill them. And you know the difference between me, you, and everybody else in this motherfucker? Y'all were trained in combatives. I actually know how to fight with the motherfuckers. That's the difference between y'all and me. Y'all badasses, I see y'all, but have you actually been in a fucking fight with that shit? The answer is no. I can tell by the way you train us, and I can tell by the way y'all have been trained. Y'all motherfuckers know how to fight with a fucking gun. Down the barrel of a gun, you put somebody down 45 yards, you never have to get physical. But guess what? I've been in a lot of physical altercations before you were even fucking born. So if I go to fuck back over there, that Chinese motherfucker, he's gonna die. And that white motherfucker that kept picking on me, he's gonna die too. And I said it just like that. And I wasn't trying to be racist, but the guy was Chinese and the other guy was white. And I literally said, if you send me over there today, you and everybody over here in Bravo have to come over here and save everybody over there in Gulf. Because they already told me they were gonna fuck me up. And I decided when he told me he was going to fuck me up, no you're not. Because you're not going to live long enough to fuck me up. I saw Full Metal Jacket, but here's the difference maker. I don't need a fucking gun. Because I don't have to beat anybody in this motherfucker to kill you. And I can kill you all with a simple fucking move. And say, you can't breathe, I can kill you. All I got to do is collapse your motherfucking windpipe. Jill Sergeant Stokes wasn't happy about that. So they sent me to the lieutenant. The lieutenant was younger than me, and he also bitched me out. Called me all kinds of punk bitches and cowards and shit. And it's like, so why didn't you go complain to their captain? I said, one, I was still under your command, and I didn't know I could do that. Two, I'm not going to sit here and be bullied because y'all think y'all making somebody. I said, I'm 37 years old. You can't bully me. If you threaten me, I'm gonna fucking hurt you. Well, I don't think you can hurt anybody without training. And I said, well, that's the problem that you have, Lieutenant, Captain, whatever your name is. I was trained before I got here. I've been fighting in the streets before any of y'all was fucking born. I am 37 years old. There ain't a goddamn thing about fighting that y'all can teach me. You can learn from me more than you can teach me. And if you send me the fuck back over there, I'm gonna kill them all. And I don't need a motherfucking gun like y'all do. Needless to say, the captain wasn't very happy. He sent me to the fucking chaplain. The chaplain gave me counseling for about a week. And from that week, they had me doing duties that weren't my duties, but I had to do them. So I was everywhere, anywhere, because I was no longer a part of Bravo, technically. Legally, I was still there, but technically and half legally, I wasn't a part of Bravo anymore. But they weren't going to send me back to golf because I had already told them that if I went over there, everybody in that motherfucker was going to die. And it's like, well, I said, everybody. If you were a drill sergeant, I don't give a fuck. I'm killing your ass because you allowed that shit to happen to me. You watch these motherfuckers pump my ass out. And that part I wasn't mad at. But when Drill Sergeant Walsh looked me in my face and told me, I'm going to fuck with you every motherfucking day. I'm going to make your life a living fucking hell. Right then and there, I said, nah, that ain't how that's going to work. Because I know who the fuck I am. And I was trained by a Green Beret when I was 16. I would dominate this motherfucker without even having to make a move. I only need to hit you once to kill you. Because that's what I was taught by an actual Green Beret. If I hit you in the right spot at the right time with the right amount of force, all of this shit is done. They didn't teach us that shit in the Army. This is what they taught us in the Army when I was in Bravo. Taekwondo. Boom. Boom. Yeah, step back, kick, step back, kick. And then eventually it was, you gotta go forward and you do your little combo and you look cool, you look like you can be in a Kung Fu movie. But when they had the 36-hour pass, the first thing they said was, don't go thinking that y'all are badasses because you know some combatants. That's when I knew I could beat everybody's ass. So these motherfuckers just training them, but they're not teaching them how you actually supposed to fight. So that's what that bag is for. Somebody don't have cash bags. Okay. Good to know. Anyway, I wound up going to Bravo for the last damn time. And then they sent my ass to Delta. So to Delta Company. guess who's your daddy? Delta Company was home. Delta Company is where I found my motherfucking family. Everybody in Delta Company. The only thing that fucked up my damn ability to stay in the Army was the fact that I couldn't shoot and I can't run because my legs fucked up. Thanks to the fucking tree of woe. Because one of our battle buddies fucked up and I wound up in the tree of woe. Now, moving on. Got out of the Army. Came home to the same fucking shit. Which goes back to why I'm not jealous. I'm angry. Because I didn't want to come home. I wanted to stay in the Army until I fucking died. Because that's all I had was the Army. When your entire family don't give a fuck about you and all you have is the Army and your dreams, that's it. And I'll bring it back to Millennium. Because apparently Millennium is still in existence. I have not had the chance to reach out to Millennium, and I'm pretty sure if they see this video, they're probably not going to accept anything that I send them. But the fact of the matter is that I'm not even angry at Millennium no more. I'm angry at the concept of where I could have been if they had gave me a job instead of giving me problems. Because, you know, you want to be an actor, these are their words, not mine. You want to be an actor? You ain't got to move to Hollywood no more. You ain't got to move to North Carolina. You ain't got to move to Florida. You ain't got to move to New York. We're going to bring the Hollywood experience right smack dead here to Virginia. You want to make movies? Come to Millennium Studios. You want to make TV series? Come to Millennium Studios. Because we're going to be doing that here at Millennium Studios. That was the address because I don't remember it. You can come talk to me. Tim Reed. I own it. I operate it. I'll be here every day. And we can get this Hollywood popping on the East Coast. So, you want to make movies? Come to Millennium Studios. No need to go out west where we can be the best. You can find those commercials. You just have to look hard for them. You know, that no need to go out west because we can be the best. That part was mine. But you can find the commercials with Rick Young and Tim Reed in CBS Studios where the commercials was filmed when Rick Young used to work for CBS Studios because he was a prominent young black news character in fucking Richmond. Everybody likes Rick Young. I still like Rick Young. But I'm still mad because Millennium didn't deliver my hopes and dreams to me. Am I mad at Millennium or am I mad at the principal? I'm mad at the principal. I'm not mad at Millennium because, you know, there's nothing guaranteed in life but death and taxes. But just think how life could have went the other way. I've had this issue with the UFC. If anything, I'm definitely mad as fuck at the UFC because they didn't have my weight class until I joined the Army. I couldn't gain weight until I got in the Army. I fucking did everything for years to gain weight. Couldn't gain it. But just think, I could have went from the UFC to Millennium to Superstardom. UFC had the 125 pounds way back in 1993 when I graduated from high school. But they didn't have that. Get your weight up. And Rec didn't have it. Rec would become Havoc didn't have it. One Champion didn't have it. Nobody had the 125 and down class. Because I was only at 120 pounds. I was 120 pounds from the age of fucking 19 to 37. Couldn't gain weight. Wouldn't matter how much I ate, couldn't gain weight. Got in the military at 37, gained my weight. Got up to 140, which is where I am now, and I need to start losing weight before the end of this month. Because in like 17 days, I get a military checkup, and I'm overweight, and I have to lose it for this hip. Like I said, I've been stress eating. Anyway, I'm working on that problem. So, that being said, I've done all this stuff, and I never got a chance to be the actor I wanted to be the person that I wanted to be. And in 2022, 2023, changed my name. Started using some of my native heritage. So now, Echo Fang Grey Wolf is here, and James Williams Jr. is dead. That being said, I'm Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Be seeing you.